Good morning, all, and welcome to Business Brunch. Today, we're talking to Tony Capper of Sales Geek. See you in a minute.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. Getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good morning again. As I said, we're talking to Tony Capper of Sales Geek this week. Just a few things. For those people who are coming online as an audience and you've got questions, put your questions in the chat, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. And it's good to see you all. Right, with no further ado, I'll bring Tony on. Good morning, Tony.
Morning, Ian. How are you doing?
Very good. I'll just give you a bit so we know we're talking about Sales Geek. There we
go. Beautiful.
How was that?
That's you've even chosen a nice bright yellow. Just
yeah, it is the exact yellow. I've actually got it off your website, so I know I've got the right one. And I think I got the logo right as well, which I nicked. So good to see.
Excellent.
Anyway, good to see you.
Thank you.
You're with Sales Geek. So before we go into Sales Geek, I think what we mentioned. You live on a farm, and it's not a normal farm, is it? You've got a very special case for your farm, which I think your other half deals with.
Yeah, most definitely. So we live on a small holding just outside Ray, just outside Lancaster. And what we've been doing on the small holding for the last 4 years is we've created a sensory farm, and it's kind of our gift back. So my far better half, Becky, runs it, and we give people with dementia, people with autism, the opportunity to actually get physical on the small holding. So you have people come along and join a gardening club, right through to petting the horses, taking a tortoise for a walk. We've got a pig that will roll over and you can stroke its belly. But the idea is, rather than that kind of sterile world that you give people, that you kind of, the 52-inch plasma TV that's on the wall in the care home and things like that, it's about allowing them to get down and dirty, and actually, create some real memories. And there's some amazing stories of visitors that you've created a memory with someone that's got dementia. If you can actually do that, and they're remembering that they've been there before, they want, and that they want to go and stroke Peanut, the little Shetland pony, and give him some mints. That is a fantastic memory. So that is
amazing. That is really amazing. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Really good, really good. So let's
more interesting. I'll carry on.
No, sorry. Right, let's move on. Well, I mean, first of all, what attracted you to Sales Geek?
So my journey started with Sales Geek when Sales Geek was 3 members of staff. So my last role before I joined Sales Geek, I brought Sales Geek in to actually train my team. We needed to uplift our sales, and actually I went through that. I went through the Sales Geeks training myself with my team, and we started hitting targets for the first time ever. So you kind of know that base load of training, a base load of information and what Sales Geek does actually works. Part of that, you form some great relationships. And then I was getting frustrated, I would say, in that role, and it was kind of like time to move on. And I had a chat to Richard, the director
Richard Few
of Sales Geek, and said, "Have you got anything that one of your customers need a new sales director?" And he went, "No, but you can buy a franchise if you want." So I got sold to.
You got sold.
I got sold to by Sales Geek, so never mind.
Well, at least you know it works.
Yeah, it kind of works.
You know it works. You know it works.
Yes, so I was the first franchisee so they've gone on a franchise model since, because it's that. How do we scale on a big level?
Right.
And
that's the way they've decided to scale their business, and is to produce franchises. I mean, I'm assuming it's areas of the country, is it?
Yeah, you are areas of this country and others soon to be. Although it keeps getting pushed back, we're looking at Australia and US later this year. Seems to be a bit odd to set companies up over there. You'd think it'd be easier. But we are, you're buying a lump of the UK. So I've kind of got filed up to kind of the Cumbrian, up to Cumbria and...
Right. So, because I know you're South Lakes, aren't you? You're definitely South Lakes.
I've got Lancaster and South Lakes. I've also now in the process of getting filed and that top end Preston as well. So that's my kind of patch. And there's, I dread to think there might be pushing 15 or 16 of us now on the franchise model. So we've got about 4% of the UK covered.
I know I see social media from Sales Geek. They give you a welcome, and there's like a person there in a certain area. It's really starting to take off, isn't it?
It's one thing that Sales Geek are good at. That LinkedIn thing, they batter the heck out of it, and it does work. We get most of our leads and opportunities that way. So
it's a very much a social media sales channel for you.
LinkedIn is LinkedIn is gold for us. So.
Right. Okay. That's good. Right. So you've taken on this franchise. Now, what can you actually do for a company then? I mean, obviously we've seen that your business was helped by Sales Geek, but what's the approach you take? So
we do two things, and we kind of do two things a little bit differently. So the easiest one to explain, because everyone will put it into a nice box, is sales training. So we've got, from a sales training point of view, we've got everything from a free app that anyone can go and download to an online academy. So if you think of, there is no school for sales. 95% of people kind of fall into it because it's one of those morning Rich. 95% of people kind of fall into sales as a spare job, and it's one of those you just drift into. So there is no formal university for that sales effort. So we've got an online academy, so you can actually get a real base build of sales, and then we put on top of that bespoke courses that we can deliver over the fantastic Zoom or face to face. So all of that is about bringing sales teams up to a consistent level of delivering brilliant results for their employers. Then the second part of that is, the second role is we do part-time sales director, so fractional sales directors. So we go into businesses from half a day to about 4 days a month. Sometimes it's a little bit more, dependent on what they need. And we perform the role of their sales director. So if I give you an example of that on the lower end, I suppose, if we've got a business that's trying to scale and they're trying to reach new goals and heights, what we can actually do is put together a sales strategy for them that actually looks at where their target customers are, their kind of dream clients, routes to market, how do they get there, and that sales strategy to to grow their business and scale their business over that
So
time.
you're basically holding their hand then through the sales process.
Are you holding their hand, or are you enabling them to grow? You're not. It's some of it's a bit of a push. We are challenging in what we do,
Yes.
because if we see something that we probably go a little bit further than some of our customers want to go, but that's okay. That means they're making a bigger step than they would do normally towards that revenue growth. And then on the other flip side of that, we've got some customers where we are literally their sales director. So I had a customer for about 18 months. I was doing a day a week with them, and I was doing the one-to-ones, I was the sales meetings, I was going out and seeing their customers for them and helping them close deals. We actually run the sales team on their behalf. Is that like a come in, sort the sales team out, and then just drift? Then you can just drift out and leave them to it, and that's they take off. Drift out. Our objective on any part-time sales director role is to put ourselves out of a job. Yeah. Right. So if you think genuinely, but if we can reorganize that sales strategy, send them off in a direction that means that company's got consistent revenue growth, we actually, as part of that kind of exit piece, we actually help the clients hire our replacement. Right. But actually, they've got an organisation that's growing, heading off in the direction. They know it works, and the team's there. And then for us as Sales Geek, that's brilliant, because when they next hire a new member of staff, so that example client has just come back to me because he wants me to hire and onboard his new. It could because he wants another salesman on the team now.
Right.
So he's brought me back in to find out the new right candidate for them and bring them on and onboard them. So for us, we actually end up with sticky clients by actually saying we're not there forever. We only want to be there for 6. Some customers. What we find with those larger clients is that eventually, we do hand things back over, but they keep us in on a small retainer, basically to keep them honest and on their plan.
Right.
So
yeah. So it actually they then got the confidence with knowing that there's somebody there to help them if they do need it.
Yes, exactly.
And you can help whenever you can. What sort of size businesses? I know you're probably working with businesses that have sales departments, but do you work with the one-man band as well? So I'm doing some work for those 1, 2, 3 person organisations, and that's generally at that low end. How do we see customers at three places genuinely for the part-time sales director work. Let's talk about that first, because it's slightly different audience on the training side. So generally that's startups, kind of how do we formulate that plan? How do we get investment? So how do we create that sales plan that means that investors are going to give us £1 million funding, etc. The second place we see customers is about 18 months and 2 years into their business cycle. And it's a weird one, but it's almost like a lot of companies are really excited and go great guns for about 18 months and 2 years. And then they realize they've finished selling to all of the mates and the people they know. And they kind of go, oh dear, we've actually got to go and find some other customers now. So actually, those guys are really good clients for us because we can help them kind of look at the market in a different place. Because that's where the actual sales really starts, then, isn't it? When you're selling to people you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. It's a weird balance, but you kind of go, oh my goodness, I'd like to keep scaling this business. And then the third one is there is a chunk of companies that have been around for 10, 20 years or whatever. And whether there's a change of leadership or a change of focus, but generally there's a weird group of companies that do kind of 3 to 10 million turnover, and they've done it every single year forever. And a lot of those companies then go, right, actually, it's a bit harder to sell in this market where revenues are going down. We need to do something. So they're those type of clients. So the part-time sales director is normally up to about 10 million turnover.
Right.
But I've got a customer on that's just doing 100, that's doing about 100 grand. So anywhere in between. And we can, because we work purely on a time-based model, we can help any customer just flex it up and down to their requirements. From a training perspective, anyone. So we've got, we can do a training company, a training for a small team of 4 people in a vaping company in Darwin that we did, right through to we've got companies with the likes of Panasonic and IAG, so British Airways on a training program with us at the moment.
Right.
So there is no limit to the training side, but generally the part-time sales director is a little bit small.
And I'm assuming the training for like the larger companies you can do on their site, and if it's more single businesses, you might get them together in a particular place so they can come along and all feed off each other, basically, can't you?
I mean, for the good old horrible 5 letters of COVID that happened, we were kind of for Sales Geek, it was one of those everyone went into a panic mode, but there was a lot of customers kind of paused, and we had to Sales Geek kind of pivoted, but we took all of our training straight online. So actually, and also now where people are still working on a hybrid model, and actually you can do exactly the same level of training. You've got to put an awful lot more effort in, but you can deliver it online just as well as being face to face. Just takes a bit of graft and using the technology in the right way, but it is achievable. So we can deliver. And also you've got to deliver it in a different way. You can't have people locked in a room for a day doing a sales course. You've got to do it in small blasts because your attention span to this stupid screen is a little bit lower.
No, that's right. So you try to get smaller classes online, and then when we get a face to
same side of class, just smaller time, just reduced time.
Right. Okay. All right. And I think you've been doing some of them around Cumbria. Have you just done?
What we've one of the bits that really works for, I suppose, the Sales Geek brand. So Rich did this during that startup. So all of the Sales Geek franchises are following the same model. We're obeying the master. Is we run sales clubs with either chambers of commerce or local groups to actually get our brand awareness out there, but also just to give that little bit back to businesses in a way that kind of becomes that lead generation engine for us. A kind of a give to get. But we've been doing it with Cumbria Share across South Lakes. We are going to get up to the top end of Cumbria. We've decided that Cumbria people are a little bit, they don't want to travel that far from the front door, and it is a big lump of the country. So we're going to go up to Carlisle later on this year, and we'll do a sales club up there as well. So
you did a very successful one at Overston at Ford Park. You did another one in Kendal with Feather and Springs.
Oh, we did prospecting like a geek. In one of my customers is Feather and Springs in Kendal, and they've got a bed showroom, and I was kind of going like, well, let's set ourselves a challenge. Let's see if we can do some sales training whilst we're in a bed shop. So for each kind of core part of the session, we went from bed to bed to bed. So we had 15 people on each of the beds as we went through the whole of the showroom, obviously in true sales style, ending on the comfiest bed and also the most expensive bed that hopefully then someone's going to buy. But we took them on that full sales journey whilst doing a sales training piece. So yeah, it was properly different. Never ever done it before. No PowerPoint, but
No.
proper kind of full-on learning, because you can't look at funnily enough, a bed showroom doesn't have many TVs in it. So yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, it's we like to do things a little bit quirky and a little bit different, rather than death by PowerPoint.
Right. Okay. Well, that's been great. I mean, it's really good, Tony. Just before we go, just to give us just a quick sales tip. I mean, this morning at our networking group, we talked about yes,
do that on this. This is recorded.
Yes.
No,
Just one thing.
Let's do which means, right?
Right.
Let's do which means. I'm not doing my yeses. I can't redo that one. So if you lots and lots of businesses, the sales teams look at their products that they're offering and selling, and there's a pile of features. And what we end up doing is, and it's just natural, but we end up kind of reeling off all of these fantastic things about our products and services. But if you then force yourself to say 2 words, you turn that product, that feature, into a benefit for your client. So and once you've been doing it for a few weeks, it becomes natural, and you start talking in benefits, which are actually more interesting to the limbic system of your customers. So if we take, I hadn't plotted this one, so let me go. Let's take your good old mobile SIMs from O2 that cost £13. It's a feature, yeah? They cost £13, which means you get unlimited data. The kids aren't going to ever have to whinge because they get to the data limit and they want to nick yours. And it's fantastic because you get some business to IDC. So you can change a feature into a benefit by forcing yourself to say which means. Or if anyone wants to do that all day long, they will improve their sales no end.
Fantastic. Well, that's been great. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for coming along.
No worries.
Thank you for Richard for popping in and saying hello. And we'll see you again. Take care of yourself.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, Ed. No problem. Right. If you want to find out more about Sales Geek and find out what it is all about, the yes, contact Tony. He's on LinkedIn, Tony Capper, and he can really help you out. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for coming along. Thank you and if you're watching this on Catch Up, contact Tony. He is an absolute magic on sales. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.